You kept moving further and further off. I'm like, that's not the direction. All right, so we're in the practice session right now. Do you want to use my?
Probably better to get the pots and pans in a dirty grill.
You want to get going?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so
let's just do a sum up of the week so far. Talk about distance. Talk about last night's ceremony. We'll get into what's going on today. Okay.
start. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We should do one thing real quick first.
Okay.
Let me post the
So,
what?
Mary's Congress qualified for the Masters World Champion, but she's also the United States World Champion. In that case, would it go to second place?
Mm-mm. I don't think so, but I don't know for sure.
What?
No, she would have got two
Like,
spots.
she put away and she was in the spot. You get owned out there? Oh, I wasn't high enough.
You can't count her out.
Oh, very down to the lunch hotel. Go pick it up. But apparently we're gonna cut nothing out of here. Pretty cool. So,
We don't got two of those going, do we? So. You need to move in or something, mister. Oh, yeah, here, how about that? We can do this. That looks great. You're gonna start the webinar.
Yeah.
So let's go live on Facebook. Hey, everybody.
We're in the flash now.
Welcome to the Good Times Hour. We are live here at Winthrop University in Rockville, South Carolina.
Live from the main stage of the kitchen.
The main stage of the kitchen. Tomorrow we'll be on the main stage of the Vendor Village, but today it took a little longer for those guys to get themselves set up than anybody expected. So we're just gonna roll with this today, and tomorrow we are gonna roll it out big time and for about 4 hours. We also are going to attempt to make a format change tomorrow so that we can start streaming on some of the other things, other formats like, or not formats to speak, but podcast locales like Spotify and Apple Music and several others, YouTube, Facebook, and we'll actually have a little bit more of an ability to hit a bunch of different mediums. So that's something that's going to happen overnight, and be prepared for that tomorrow. We'll still be broadcasting on Facebook Live, but also going to YouTube and so on and so forth. So a lot of unknowns on that, but yeah. So how you thinking there? Are you looking good? You ready?
I get ready.
Oh, no. Well, this is no time to worry about that.
So we are literally convenient here sitting side by side with in the kitchen, but we're gonna make do. We're not gonna do a little freestyle. Don't have anything terribly prepared. We don't have any guests. Nobody knows we're back here except for the odd person that's got through. But we don't want to talk to the staff, that's for sure. They're too busy. That's why they're too busy.
That's the only reason we don't want to talk
The
to
other
them.
reason. So let's just kind of break down what's happened so far. Like we'll get to the play, but
Yeah. So all right. So I got into town a couple weeks ago. Interviewed the pioneer women of disc golf. That was really amazing. I hope y'all have checked it out. And if you haven't, it's on our YouTube channel.
Definitely.
Good Times Hour, or at Good Times Hour 12:15 on YouTube. So that was great. Tong and I spent a little time in Charlotte. I blew some glass a couple weekends back. Made a bunch of minis, and then I came to the hill, and we've been here ever since. Paul came in on Saturday. Brandon came in on Saturday. Been working on trophies. Been doing a whole lot of stuff. And on Monday, our first official event of the.
Do you have any of the glass mini?
Not with me, but I'll show some up tomorrow.
So every spectator got these.
No.
Sorry, every competitor got.
Every competitor got one.
They didn't somebody think there was like a little ashtray? Somebody said something about that. But it's a beautiful clear glass imprint. And it's the logo of the USDGC, and then says competitor. That's like literally about, I don't know.
They're not all. They vary in thickness. They definitely vary in thickness, but it was a nice new thing that we did this year.
Yeah.
It's something that we're going to be able to do through Maceman in the future. So we'll have the ability to do some custom glass minis, probably starting rolling out in the spring. It'll be like a trophy package on the low end. Like we can make you some custom minis and then possibly do a couple of vessels with that logo. Haven't quite worked that out yet, but like I said, springtime would be great, and I think it's going to be pretty cool.
And when you say that you got into town early and you're blowing glass, you weren't just like working on fun side projects. You're working on this here.
Oh yeah. So trophies.
You should see when
The trophies were made already. The pieces themselves, the glasswork on that was made before I got here, but they were blanks. They were. Oh yeah, it took a week. It took a week to get through all of it. You know, more or less. I mean, we finished them on. I mirrored the insides and lacquered them on Tuesday and delivered them on Wednesday morning. 6 in the morning. Yeah,
right now, if you're here on the lovely Branson Rock Hill and you want to come check it out, the Mace Man tents, you've got your not only your personal art but also the trophies there, so you can come see what that's all about. And they really do look incredible, honestly. The mirrored ones, I've never seen that before. They're beautiful chrome.
They were mistaken as metal at first. John Watkins and Sean Wynn both were like, "Why don't you make them out of glass?" And I was like, "This is glass. It's mirrored." You know, I mean,
like you made them out of vibranium. It's amazing.
Well, the whole thing behind that is that, you know, this is a 25th anniversary, silver anniversary. Jonathan wanted silver in the art, and I was just like, man, the best way to like making silver glasses. And I don't know, I don't really think that silver paint or silver glass really reads that well. You know, you're more, I mean, you're just kind of souping up gray. You're not really, in my opinion, you know, but like that chrome is pretty amazing. And you can check my posts. I already posted the photos of those from when they were at the Stone House.
Yeah. Check the Good Times Hour on Instagram. You can see better ones.
Yeah.
Better.
Those photos are on the Instagram, on Mace Man Instagram, on Good Times Instagram.
And you worked really hard at it. You're really good at it. And you've had a lot of amazing feedback already. People come by and go, "Oh my God, you did this? Like, you did all of it?" The only thing you didn't do was make the wooden bases that the rest of.
Yeah, but Tim Schaefer, a local guy here, and I mean that's how far. I had trouble. I couldn't get it done at home, and in all honesty, I designed it, and neither of my friends that were going to try it really tried to do my design. And then when I came here, talking to Brad Tucker, and he hooked me up with Tim Schaefer, and Tim and I threw a couple things back and forth, and I kind of modified my idea at the last minute too, and it just worked out great. I think that, you know, I mean, obviously this will seem like I'm blowing my own horn, but I really think those are the best trophies I've ever made.
You got to blow your own horn every once in a while, because, you know, not everybody's going to do it for you, for sure. And we need to know that kind of stuff. I mean,
okay, so let's go back 3 days.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Monday. Monday we did, actually Sunday we set up for the distance qualifying.
Yeah.
And it was the qualifying in the finals all on the same day. Started at about 12:30 on Monday, and we rolled through that for the second year in the style like the showcase to some degree, except for we weren't throwing over the lake. We were throwing over at the Eagles Landing ball golf course. If you played here in '97, you're familiar with that area. If you played the World Championships and you played here, that was one of the courses, and it's now under U.S. Disc Golf control, at least until the spring. I'm not sure if that's an ongoing thing or if it's just a 6-month trial, but they signed it over to them, and so that's an interesting development here. But
here on the ground, the university grounds, is it still an active ball golf course? Or
no, they're not using it.
But they have their own private golf course.
Yeah, 9-holer.
I mean, that's ready made for throwing baskets out there.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was just to set it up a little bit. It did kind of go down a little bit, the downhill. We had OB lines, there was street line, and it was what, about 300, 400 foot wide fairway. It was fair enough. It was a monster. It was amazing how many guys were missing the fairway.
Well, they were using the whole thing too. But yeah, they were lining it up left to right, and you know, so you're throwing somewhat easy.
The wind was coming over your left shoulder going right, so that's perfect if you were right.
It was a east southeast wind, and I guess that's the way you call it. Yeah, it's coming over your left shoulder, so it's going out to your right. And man, some of these guys, like, I mean, how far OB did they go? I mean, I wasn't even down there, so I'm just basically.
The big show, but also I'd never seen Albert Tan play before.
Yeah, he's a crusher too.
Incredible. I wonder why they call him Bazooka.
Well, and so back in the day, I mean, for the first 23 of these, Trey stood out there in the field with everything marked and everything, but it wasn't like there was nobody out there announcing names. There was no music playing. There was no reason for anybody to hang out. And Ted Nalen got involved with that. He's the guy that is running Double Cheese promotions and stuff, like handling. He's like the business manager for Gary Earthy. And he jumped into it and he's like, man, we can make this happen. We can blow it up. And I'm not going to lie. I was really skeptical last year. I really didn't think that it was going to be, I was like, oh, whatever, this is a one and done thing. And it wasn't. I mean, like people hung out all day. We had a couple of tents out there. We had the PA and I was playing some music and making everybody's name announcements, butchering a whole lot of European people's names, unfortunately. Man, I gotta figure this out. It's really nice to at least know that how I'm gonna say somebody's name wrong like 5 days before I say it, or 7 days before I say it during the showcase.
And honestly, Sunday, Finnish names you can't even guess. Like, do I pronounce that Y like a Y or a U or an A? I don't know. Like, why don't you just stand anyways?
Yeah. So if you've ever been at one of my events and heard me butcher names, it was the same sort of a thing.
Well, we'll see it up here and get you to butcher a couple more names. Don't you worry.
Oh, it's gonna happen Sunday. There's at least one guy on
No, right here online. We're gonna call you out.
That's not
top finishers.
So that being said, we spent the whole day out there. We got a little sun, and everybody but me and Brandon got our butts run off, and it was a great time. People stayed all day. People were coming in groups and they were coaching each other, and it was just amazing. And
it was quite a periphery. There was Joe Mez was there, Sun King obviously, Garrett Earthy, and there were tents around so people could sit in the shade, and they could just sit and watch.
And Sky, what's the name of their Sky Coyotes, right? The
drone guy.
Yeah, the drone guys. They were using 3 different drones. The super fast one was if it wasn't the same as last year, it was very similar, and it kept up with every shot. I mean, like that disc, I kind of feel like that disc could catch, like that drone could catch the disc, like it could maybe knock it out of the sky. But I mean, that probably would be detrimental.
There were a couple times because I was doing the running, I was taking the part down to go pick up the disc, where actually the runners were running side to side to spot and get the distance marker. But I would zip down as the drone is zipping back, and I swear I heard Chewbacca go. I swear
it wasn't even on site yet.
But it was cool because me and Alex and Tom, the spotters, we all got the fancy shirts. You got a fancy shirt, so yeah, this was another innovation by Ted. Was so that we could look similar, like, okay, that's obviously the staff, and I got to keep it. Looks good, so thank you, Ted. Keep doing what you do, buddy. So anyways, we were
Walter Haney, get in the car, man. Come on, what are you waiting on, dude? Get down here. You know the way. You know you're not going to have a bad time. Serious, come on, let us see it.
We had front row seats for some of the best drivers, certainly here. The big distance boys, big distance guys, big distance girls too, like some of those.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about Ellie. That's Ellie Lesra. That's how she's in 4th place.
Currently 4th with a 6 under. She finished with an eagle on a
smashing it. Okay, so Trey Johnson and I and Paul and Tom and Alex and who was the other person out there that was flagging or that was on spot? It was just Trey and Alex. I mean, Alex and Tom.
There was a guy who was on the
Okay. So anyways, they would go flag with it, and they have a dry race board. Tom was usually the one running that board around, hanging it, so we could use the Eagle Crossing, the new Eagle Crossing rangefinders.
By Bushnell?
No. They are not Bushnell. Eagle Crossing is their own. That's their own deal from the Eagle. The folks at God, what's it called? I'm so terrible with this, man. I'm sorry that we're butchering your company up, man. That's the guy that has Eagle Crossing in St. Louis. A really sweet setup, and so we were using his rangefinders because he was a sponsor of the event. And so Trey would get the numbers and he would tell me, and then I would announce them on the PA. And Mike, when Ellie was when she threw 515, the look on her face told me that she had never officially thrown 515 before. And she was it was amazing. It was great. And then she threw like three more. She threw like three more over 5.
But let me just say this. This is one thing that Tom and I were talking about. She was throwing golf shots.
Yeah, they were not. It wasn't the full
the
big ripping turn. Like the guys were using the full fairway, and they were trying really hard to get that thing to come back, and the wind just wasn't quite right for it.
Yeah,
and so we didn't get any 700-foot shots, but we got some. I think
close,
680 or something like that. 684, 686. I don't know. Obviously, we're paraphrasing, and we're just kind of going off a wing and a prayer here with our information. Total freestyle. Come on, and that was amazing. It was,
it was incredible to watch her. Like she is, and she's only 16.
She's 16 or
she's the MJ under 18 women's world champion,
and she won just the Pro Worlds this year.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
like she's throwing. Obviously, when she finished with 600 today, she's throwing great golf shots. She's managing the course well.
And she's out here with her mom. And she's out here with like, I think 2 of her brothers and her sister at least. And so, it's really cool. That was amazing. It was such a good time. Another thing that y'all should know is that David Wiggins had 5 shots at qualifying, and he qualified on the 5th one. He was OB on 4 shots in a row.
He almost hit the same tree 4 times.
And there was one time where you almost went over the pine tree. So if you've been here before and you know what we're talking about, that area, where you see off from the shack, the shack at the ball golf course, that's just off the ball golf course parking lot where the players have parked in the past. It's right there. And we were going out east, and man, it was amazing. It was such a good time. And then David took like 4 shots to get one safe in the final.
Yeah.
And then just crushed him.
Even though it was his 5th one that got him in, he didn't set the highest mark in the qualifiers. I think he like 625 or something like that.
Yeah, no, he was. Rasmus was first in the qualifying,
but then he did coming on in the finals. And the top 6 went to the finals. And I can't remember who it was. It was Wiggins, Hebenheimer. A couple of Finns in there. I'm sorry. I was there. Down.
We'll get better at taking notes this week. Again, we're freestyling. So
it's the 6 men and what? 2 women?
6 men, 2 women going to the showcase on Sunday, which you can still get here for Walter Haney, and everybody's bailing on us, dude. We had Chase Gibson, Walter Haney, Brad Bishop, Frank Ursino, Manson Miller, Zane Letts, Bobby Brody, and 11 others are watching. So that's cool.
Right on. So we're making it as we go. Thanks for being here. Hopefully, you got some interesting color going on in the background here. But just to seal it off, Monday was it feels like the momentum is really building for that as its own separate kind of event.
Yeah, definitely.
And the fact that it was Monday, the qualifying was going on over there. We didn't worry about that. None of the people who were there doing the distance were worried about that. It was just focused on the zone, and it was perfect day for it. The wind, Disc Golf Valley, probably a 2, strong 2, maybe a 3 at times, but most likely a 2. And perfect conditions. I don't think we saw one cloud all day. Tom got absolutely burnt and dusty. Too. Tom probably ran, I don't know, a couple miles at least with a drier race board, because these guys would be throwing, and then our spotters would have to run and try to find out where it landed, and then Tom would run over with the whiteboard to like lift it up so you could catch the spot. And Alex was off trying to just shag the disc that was just thrown. It was kind of chaos, and none of the walkie-talkies worked. Yeah, Tom. If you've met Tom, if you've had the pleasure already, he's a voluble.
He's
Gary type. He was just 2 little X's.
Yeah, I think he fell asleep for a little bit during dinner too. But I mean, I'm not kidding you. I was wore out too, and all I did was talk and walk out of the tent, walk back in the tent.
All I was doing was driving back and forth, and that rocking motion of the cart made me feel like I was in the ocean all day long.
Gotcha.
Oh boy.
So Monday was awesome. I spent the whole entire day Tuesday coming out those trophies, and we'll probably bring one or two on and show you guys during this week, and let's just see them if you're not going to make it out here. So Tuesday spent literally, I was told by Matt Verity that he saw me in there at 8:30, and he saw me walk out of that room after 6. He goes, dude, you were in there forever.
Yeah.
And I was, and they still smell like lacquer on the inside, but they look really good. So Tuesday was that. Wednesday, spent the day trying to set up for our vendor village, and unsuccessfully, but we got it all done this morning.
We gotta tell the whole story of this. So we're grinding it. We're going to grind it out, and maybe some tempers flared a little bit. I don't know. I didn't hear anything. It wasn't a loud temper, but
there were some brothers in there.
There might have been some fraternal rivalry, factionalism.
Oh yeah.
So we had to go. We had to leave from the vendor village to get over to the athletic center, because that's where the players meeting was.
The Rock Hill Sports Center. The Rock Hill Sports and Activity Center, where they cornhole leagues.
Incredible, beautiful facility. But at 6:30 was the big players opening ceremony. But they had a thing for the staff first. So
5:30 staff meeting.
I don't know if you can. Well,
you're gonna turn it around, too.
There you go. Somebody just QR'd me.
Oh,
well, I don't know what's going on there, but I'm officially staff, and it was great. Like they do this. They have this whole. They really treat the staff well. There's probably about 150 or more people here, and Jonathan. It starts with Jonathan. He's the team leader. JP is a solid, calm, profound. Yeah,
you're gonna hear that again this week. He's a pace setter,
but he knows how to talk to the people who are here. Maybe it's the first time ever. The people who may be nervous because this is a big pro tournament. I'm just coming to hang out or not hang out, but
there's a perfect example of that. I'm sure she knew she was going to play well this week, but she didn't know she was going to win the distance competition. I mean, and just crush her personal best.
But I mean, for this kind of before, they do treat the staff very well. It's really nice to see the staff kind of, there was a little bit of detail that they had to go over, like, what do you do if you're a spotter, things like that. But for the most part, it was that meeting was set up to thank the staff, to it was a bit of a pep rally for the staff. And then we got right into the whole player ceremony, and it's beautiful. It's wonderful. Jonathan, he's got a sense of the dramatic and the epic. And we got to see how many, the 13 previous USDGC champs. And then I think you're close. Because Paul Macbeth was the only one who's not here.
Paul was not there. Well, I wouldn't say he was the only one, but Nate Doss wasn't here. There were several guys that weren't here, but Nika was here, Dave Felber was here, the champ, the other champ, Brinster, Shoestrix got multiples. Nate Sexton was there, Conrad, Chris Dickerson. So that's 10.
And then, of course,
Gankenberger, number 11. Yeah. I got some cool photos with his ring and this year's trophy.
Nice.
And his name's on top, on the back. So we'll post some photos. We'll have to learn how to do that in the next 24 hours. But I'll have some photos to show off of some of that stuff tomorrow, without a doubt. But yeah, so the other thing that we hadn't talked about is the first ever induction into the World Disc Golf Hall of Fame.
This is a level of special because first time the World Disc Golf Hall of Fame gets to announce here at the biggest.
Actually, it's not the first time though. And they didn't announce here. It's the induction that happened here, but they announced in Flagstaff at the Masters World Championship. But they did do an induction. I think we did something last year, but they also did an induction for sure during the COVID year, during one of the COVID years, because they weren't able to do it elsewhere. because of I guess because something was the event where they were going to do it, that was postponed or something like that. So that was that, I mean, it's a fitting stage, and really honestly, it goes along the same lines as what we're trying to do here, is that we're trying to tell stories to people that don't know them yet, and especially the hot dog, I don't want to call them hot dogs, but I just did. But the hot players, a lot of these hot players don't know about Pete May. A lot of these hot players don't know about Kent Johnson, about John Dusler, about
So the
Bill Burns,
Dr. John Dusler, Steve Gans.
Steve Gans. A lot of people are like, seriously, Steve Gans brought y'all the message for it.
Charlie Meade.
Yeah, and who knows about Charlie Meade? And so
Charlie Meade's like as important to world disc golf as, I don't want to say Tom Monroe is.
He's got
it's for disc golf, but like
he's got disc golf in the World Games in 2025. So that, that ought to tell you enough.
Well,
the last time that happened was Barry in
2001. Yeah, in Japan, to Japan. So this was the class. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing. I mean, I guarantee, but I bet you, I'm willing to lay some Canadian metric money that these hot dogs, and I'm looking at a lot. I'm looking right at you, Thomas. They probably never heard of George Sappenfield.
That's true.
And George is the assistant to the executive director of the Hall of Fame. Andy Lehman is the executive director. Captain Snap was there. He's the chairman of the board. They had, I think, almost everybody who was on the board of the World Disc Golf Hall of Fame there, and as well as many.
Wasn't it like 38 members or something? It was two.
Well, there was also the previous
and a half brothers.
People who are already in the Hall of Fame that were 30 plus. So
I think it was 38.
Joe Fight,
Tarleton Howard, Harold Duvall, Pete May,
Tito
Ugaldi.
It was
our new best friend, Tita.
But it was, so Abby came out and she told a little bit of a story, and then George came up to the podium. They were the co-hosts for the whole ceremony, and George told the story of how it all started. And I guarantee none of these kids have any idea that George was the one who came up with disc golf and told Ed about it. He said, "Ed, you got to check this out." He actually had to convince Ed,
to allow it in that tournament in 1969.
Yeah, 60
hula hoops on a pole.
9
hula hoop on a pole. That was his target. That was the first disc golf target.
Now, kudos to Ed for thinking, well, what we need an object that you can approach from 360 degrees, so it's got to have that circular element to it. But it also, and George talked about this,
it doesn't fly down, it flies off flat plane.
So Rochester, Jim Palmieri for the AFDO, the first one in 74 that we just celebrated
50 years ago.
They were chicken wire 2x4, 2x2s back in the squares that were on the ground. So the point was to try to zip it in there. Now I had heard that they were embedded in the ground, so people could kind of like bounce, and then fall in.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking it was above the ground line, but I just was jumping to conclusions in my own head. Hey, put it on the guys and let's see where they're at. We got we need to get back over the wheelchair in a little bit before.
Okay, let's move along. So that was last night, and it was amazing. It was chilling. I geeked out, stand out. I got photos with a heck ton of all my old friends I haven't seen in a long time. It was awesome. But this was all just prelude for what's happening today. We're going to talk about some of that. Let's start with the women. The throw pitch.
But look and see where the guys are real quick, because
Dickinson's on 15. Cam, that's the lead card's on 13.
All right, cool. So we got a little bit of time.
So the women, there are, what did we say? There's like 40 players, 40 women qualified for this. And the Euros came over in style, strength, the squatted up strong. I was managing to overhear some of the live broadcasts, especially they were following our new favorite, Ali Ezra, as well as Hannah and Evelina and Kristen, of course. But you look at the PDGA website, you see their live scoring. You can go down the bottom.
No, I just wanted to look. I wanted to look. Go to the even line. I'm down to the two. I've looked at the twos already. So we're looking at scores on the ladies. Wow. So what is that? 20th. Cats at 20th at even.
That's the middle of the pack, right?
Middle of the pack is even. That's really interesting how that's broken down, because this is one of the things that I've been talking about for a little while. I mean, for a lot of years, for one thing, but also for the last couple of days, is like this going into today. I felt like there was at least 15 women that had a legitimate chance to say, hey, this is going to be my week. And I feel like there was as many as 25 to 30 guys that are in the same boat. Now, today changes everything. But I'm talking about at the meeting last night, 15 and 30 was my number. So 45 players that had a chance to win. And, I mean, if you go back to the beginning, it definitely was a time when, you'd show up and go, okay, well, who's going to even give Kenny a challenge?
Yeah.
And it took the third year before Kenny ever was challenged here.
Yeah.
And Barry takes it, and then Kenny comes back and says, wait a minute, this is mine. And, if you're not subscribing, you're not listening, you're really missing out, because
Kenny's doing an amazing job.
Kenny's doing great commentary.
Yeah.
They got to follow Ian and Kenny on that show. And Kenny's doing some great commentary. And I'm a big sports fan. A lot of you already figured that out, but one of my favorite things is to listen to what players have to say about other people playing. And nobody knows more about this place than, from a playing standpoint, than Ken Plymouth. I mean,
he's got the unique.
Think about it, even not being here for 5 years.
Yeah.
He's
So
still knows his way around. Yeah.
First, just from the lower parts. First of all, I just want to say, Chantel, I know you can turn it around. You're going to make it. I know it was a tough day. You struggled out there with your putting. She's Miss Frisbee. She's from Windsor. One of the Canadian homies. I think the only Canadian woman in this field. So you can do it, Chantel. Don't worry. So we're looking through this. We've got the lowest or the highest scores 10 over Katrina Allen at 6. She found some troubles there.
He's had some tough
With a
times.
7 on the first hole. That's a tough one to start with.
On one?
Yeah. That's
That's not going to set you around up for the day. That's for sure.
but she did get a 2 on 17, so that's a good way to finish.
But she took a 5 on the 18, which is par, but still. Like everybody steps up to that one, I got to get a 4.
I'm far away from the half crowd line. Cat Birch, as we said, is sitting at even, and she played a pretty clean round. I mean, a little bit of trouble at the beginning, but she's 3 birdies coming down the stretch.
Ellie has to run under, and Valerie Mondahano also.
Sarah's playing with an injured foot. Saw her last night. She rolled over in the last at the U.S. Women's Championship.
Oh, really?
Sarah, also a longtime friend of the show, good contributor. Thank you, Sarah. You got this. Jennifer Allen, 2 under. Jennifer got an eagle on hole 9.
She does score. You must have heard of it.
Hole 9's right behind us here.
So Evelina, I saw Evelina. They showed a practice shot of her, and she did yesterday. Or was it? No, she drove it today. She drove 9 today, but she didn't obviously get the birdie. Wait. Wait.
Six at 3 under. Holland Hansley, she was part of the distance contest for the women.
She ripped it.
She comes in at 4 under. Good to see. Finishing 18 with a birdie too. 18. If you've never been here, even if you have been here, you know how hard, or maybe you don't know how hard 18 can be. Missy Gannon also sitting at 4 under.
Previous first champion, in fact.
We have another.
He got. Excuse me. No, I'm wrong. Evelina did get that too. She hammered that drive.
We got another one, dude. How do you pronounce that last name?
Alexis Mondahano.
She's from qualified at 2 events. And she's currently sitting tied for 5th with 4 under. You know she's lurking in the weeds.
You cannot count her out. Everybody knows that. Who's paying attention? 11, 10, 8.
Now let's talk about
6
here. That line is amazing. She starts with a bogey on 1 and a bogey on 2. She has 4 bogeys total, but she still finishes with 6 under and an eagle on 18. Just incredible. And in fact, already, I think Chad or somebody has already posted up on the USDGC site. You can see
her playing 18. You can see the way she gets that eagle. It's beautiful. She's focused. She's got no fear. It's incredible.
And she's got a lot of game, and she's having a ton of fun. Like it's just I constantly see her younger siblings running around and having fun, and I see her mom pop up every now and then, and her and like her mom's caddying for her. I mean, that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the Robinson brothers, you know, like Isaac's dad caddied for him the whole week of the Worlds, you know, to see, and I mean, I go back with those guys, and we're gonna get Isaac's dad on this week for sure. We're gonna talk to him about how many re-ups he's done on Monday qualifying. And they told me last night it's been 10 years those boys have been coming and playing the Monday qualifying. So
Ellie has the finish around 998 rating. That round.
yeah, that's great. I mean, look,
That's huge.
10, 12, 10, 27, 10, 34 rounds in front of her. I mean,
Kristen took all the 8 under with that 10-12 round. That's a pretty clean round, only 2 bogeys. But look at this clean round. Hannah Blumrose, Jonathan. I don't think JP caddied for it.
he might have, and there's a good chance that he did.
So that's
There was a period of time where I didn't get a response from him on the phone. So
so she comes in at a 10 under. She had 3 separate turkeys, and then she finishes 18 with a birdie. That's amazing to go the entire round clean like that with no bogeys.
you know, and something I should point out. Like, one of the things that Jonathan always says at this event, at the players meeting, is like, listen, the big thing about our event is not the course and it's not the players, it's the staff. And there's like 150 people on this game, and there's only like 145, I think, or something like that. 150 players at the most. Yeah, total. It was 149 was what Chad told me yesterday.
There's more staff than there are.
Yeah. So and you know that's one of the things that you know that it wouldn't happen without this, you know, without that staff and without those people. And it's really just amazing. Like once you're part of this, you don't ever want to miss it. And it's yeah, Walter, come on, bring it.
So you can see it there. It says staff.
And there's we got a lot of people tuning in.
So
Randy Lamb jumped in, Lee Dunstan, Frankie Bryant, Michael Randolph. Mike, you're on the list. You're gonna have to let us know when, because we're bringing you on. Cam Schwartz, Michael Speaker, Ken Rollins, Hal Kurz. What's up, baby? Bobby Logan's watching as well. So
we got some chat going. So let's finish off here. Evelyn, you can follow along if you're following along, but 1034 rated round out here. She had an 11 under with a bogey on the first hole. She also got that eagle on 9. Just beautiful.
yeah, like I'm gonna say before. Like seriously, if you played here, you know, if you take a 4-on-1, that walk to 2 tee pad sucks. Okay, like if you take a par on 1, you're like, dude, how do I not get this one? You know, I mean, like all I gotta do is throw between 2 trees, and I'm in the place. And so, yeah, that's pretty amazing. And then just rip up. But when on her interview, she said that she felt like there was a couple more out there she could get. So.
Okay, so let's turn over to the men now.
So where are those? Oh, those Eagles are on 10.
Yeah, okay. So 109 men competing in the open division, the men's division. Sorry, whatever. It's an open division, isn't it?
MP. Oh yeah.
Okay. PDGA is running this event. US Disc Golf is running the event. The PDGA is running the tournament part of it. So, double G with a 7 under. Oof.
7 over.
7 over, sorry. I just
had 5 and 3 6s.
Ouch. He's going to come back. You know he's going to be fired up for that. With Daniel Johnson with the 10 on 18, just to show you how heartbreaking. He made it clean. 14 through 17. He gets to 18 and takes a 10.
Ryan Mulder, he was one of the distance guys. He's got that eagle on 10. Okay. And he sandwiched it with a 5 and a 6 as the bread, and then finished with a 7. You know, it's unfortunate. I mean, but hey, look, double G's 8 over, 7 over. Thomas Gilbert,
5 over. No one having bogey at the first hole. That's a tough one. Double bogey 11 too. But Didn't do anything more than a double bogey, which is good. Only 3 birdies out there.
4 to 5 over.
No more speeding tickets, Thomas.
Man, that was so hilarious.
Feldberg
Couldn't stop laughing.
tied for 96. Good to see Feldberg back here. One of the champs, world champ.
There's that silver score. And
Here's another Canadian flag. Casey Hannemeyer currently sitting tied for 89th at 4 over. I did.
Oh, good.
But he tied Silver Lac, Estonia.
Yeah, and he's got one of the best women in the field on this side, so you better look out.
Silver would have had a much better score, except getting to hole 5. Another one that of the many holes that are out here, like Vipers that could bite you. He took a 13. Now I talked with Calvin, who played in his group, and Calvin said he just kept tin cupping it, and he was worried about running out of discs.
You know what? You know who had a similar experience on 5? Moots. Me and Moots played hole 5 one time.
How many did he throw in the drink?
He threw all of his rocks in the drink. Okay? and so meanwhile, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong about this, but there was 6 times in a row where I took a circle 5 on that hole. Like 2 one year and then 4 the whole next or something along that line. And I'm pretty sure that one of those was with Moots. And I was thinking, like, I felt my roller go B, then bomb a big shot over the tee pad on the lakefront hole, and set myself up to go across and you know, hit a putt for the circle 5. Moots is 10 cupping, just dropping rock, and he said, I don't know how many rocks left. I was like, I got a spare. I got 1 spare I can give up for you. Okay. There's not any water holes for a while. So I can spare 1 rock. And he goes, no, I'll be all right. Yeah. Well, so, you know, I've seen some big numbers out here. Rick Rothstein came and reminisced yesterday about the original blackjack.
Oh, yeah.
But he also told me about an 18 that I took that I have conveniently forgotten about. I don't remember anything about that 18.
I don't think I ever scored more than a triple bogey when I played here. However, I did handsomely finish last. I worked hard for that last place finish. It was solid. It was consistent. Nothing flashy. No 13s. No lose. Although I did lose my mini in the water.
Back when the quarter-mile hole was a quarter mile instead of 10 and 11.
Yeah.
I took a big number on that one with Harold on the card too. I've definitely. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It was 11 and 12.
Okay. Kevin Jones also sitting, but it was 12
because 88 was 13.
Right. But I mean, in terms of now, it's 11 and 12. Then it used to be just 1 long hole.
And by the way, 888 doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
It's hole 13, but it's not 888. It's not coming across the parking lot. It's not playing down the sliver of land. I mean, it's a different hole.
So
I'm not saying it's not tough, but it's not 888.
But Nico's Eagles is going to live, or Albatross, sorry, is going to live in infamy because it's never going to get repeated.
Well, no. I wouldn't say it's never going to get repeated because
no, they're not going to go back to that hole.
They might.
Okay.
I mean, it's still there. I'm not saying. I mean, I don't think you can rule out anything here.
Okay. So
let me rephrase that. I don't think you can say we're never going to see this again here, except for no. Here's one thing we're never going to see again. We're never going to see Chris Herring's car go in the lake again. How about that?
Okay, maybe not him, but we can see another person.
I just said Chris Herring's, dude. I mean,
Jeremy Calling, Big Jerem, Calling, 3 out, 3 over, finishes with 5 bogeys in the last 6 holes. That's got to be a very tough finish.
Man, how many evens are there? There's a bunch.
There's going to be a bunch. Let's see. So let's pick up some Corey Ellis, the European Open champion, currently sitting at 1 over.
Yeah, we had a really good time with him on, what was that, Friday night? No, Thursday night.
With an eagle on 10, and a 7 on 17.
Man, Wisdom does not care.
So far, other than Silver, Hjalmar Fredriksson from Sweden is amongst the chunk tied at, we're going to get to that. All at even with Eric Oakley, Zach Melton, Chandler Fry, and 2-time champ Barry Schultz. He went out here twice or three times. I think you're right. And Nate's excellent. But Nate is currently on hole 15, so he may finish better. Now, let's get to the good stuff. My boy Calvin Rorda. I don't know if anybody from Ontario or Toronto is out there watching or listening or paying attention or even cares. But I care. He's my man, and he finished 1 under. He finished tied for 61. He played a passable good round. Yeah,
Charles has 3 W's here.
3. Okay. Calvin has 3 bogeys and 4 birdies. Very cleanly played. 2 of the bogeys, 16 and 18. Nothing really you can do about that. 3 is a tough hole now. Now that they've moved 3, kind of combine it with 4. That's a little tricksy. Okay, let's just keep going through here. Luke Humphreys at -1.
Igor says they're putting on 15.
Okay. Bari also -1. Barsby -1. Calvin, you're in great company. Nico at -1. Calvin. Moving day. Brody Smith, who doesn't seem to think that your trophies are very good, I think.
Oh, he wasn't answered.
Oh, okay. We're still
I'm
waiting on that.
gonna, for the record, I don't give
I'm kidding.
like if he doesn't like my trophies, it doesn't matter because he's not gonna win one.
Whiskey Codes. Cole.
Redall.
Finished -1. A good way to get to that -1.
Ring a ding ding on 17, man.
Now, I know that one's been hit. I don't know how many other holes. I think 3 has been hit as an ace of hole 3.
All 3 was definitely hit.
But
1's
17,
been hit, 1's been
Yeah,
spit. Like I remember back in the day doing the radio show. I don't remember who even did it, and I stood up and looked out the window because that's what I looked at. And that thing went right in the heart, and it came right back out. And I mean, people were roaring, and then they were just like, "Oh."
right along, we do have quite a Euro contingent here, and that's really awesome to see. Making it a
Yeah,
trend.
Jonathan predicted
Just
that the
yeah.
Euros are taking over.
Yeah, well,
It's Freeze backed it up.
Big T.
Big T said it was coming.
Jacob Conrad sitting at -2, top Czech player.
So where's that 2 start? 40, 50. Where's that go to?
So it's
40.
32.
So
Holy cow! And there's a lot of guys. There's 20 guys tied at 2 under.
some of them are still playing.
Yeah, Simon's playing with Gannon and AB. If you're not watching, go over and watch that. Brinster in the house with 2 under. Good to see Brinster and the kids.
Yeah, the Twinsters have already been. No, he's playing.
Big name. Now let's move on to the 3 unders. Ezra had a hold. 3 under. Jared Stoll with the 3 under and the eagle on 10. It's always good to see that. We're looking at UDisc Live, by the way. You can also check out PDGA Live Scoring. Thanks to all of these digital partners who are doing amazing work to make sure that you and I sitting in a kitchen or a coffee or wherever around the world, we get to see this stuff updated and in 4K. Beautiful to see. Who else we got here? Ezra Robinson at 4 under. Emerson Keith at 4 under. AB sitting at 4 under through 15. He's only got 2 bogeys on the round. Very nice to see. Isaac Robinson at 5 under with Aaron Gossage. I've just discovered that Aaron Gossage is the great nephew, great grandnephew of Goose Gossage. Anyone out there who's checking out the Wikipedia, go Goose Gossage, one of the greatest stashes in
That guy's got game big time.
James Conrad, previous champ, sitting at 5 under. But now we're getting the good stuff.
5 under with no sidearm.
We've got all the baby 17 and 18 coming out.
Yeah, but how about this? How about this finish? Number
Rasmus?
No, Joseph Anderson has a 7 on 5 and he shoots 7 under.
Double bogey.
How about that?
Yeah, looked like and he had 2 other bogeys, bogey on 11 and 2. Wow. The Eagles, I don't know if I said this already, sitting at 6 under on the 17th hole, currently playing 18. That's going to finish up. Matty out, 7 under. seeing Matty out.
Those good times.
We saw him, I think it was on Monday night after all the distance, hanging out over the hotel. He just gave me the biggest hug. It was great to see Matty out. He had a great time when he came to Toronto in 2006. The only problem is you can't see those records because it was an unsanctioned event.
This is all Paul really cares about. It's fun. People having fun in Toronto.
Yeah, dude, you had fun.
I've had a lot of fun.
Chris Nickerson is shooting 7 under with only 1 bogey on 2 so far. That's pretty cool.
Hall too.
Yeah, lots of eagles.
So it wasn't. It was last year. It was the year before, where I got roped into. Oh, yeah, it was the year before. Got roped into being the champs and chumps, and obviously I'm a chump. But it was with James Proctor and Ella Hansen, and I was asking James on hole 10, which he got an eagle on today. I asked him, I go, "Is this, you got this D in your bag?" And he goes, "Yeah, but I'm not sure if I'm going for it." And I was like, "Well, what's the factors?" And he goes, "The score." He goes, "You know, it just depends." And actually, I'm thinking of James. I'm not thinking of James Proctor. I'm thinking of previous champion, James Conrad. It wasn't James Proctor, so I'm a goofball. But I think most of you guys know about that. Yeah, I'm even more of a chump, for sure.
But James Proctor finishes way under in two bogeys and that eagle. Not bad. Calvin Heimberg, 7 under already. I'm playing 18 right now. But look at who's coming in on the top. This is pretty good. There's some sweet scores. Robert Burridge finishes with a 9. Kyle Klein finishes with a 9. Sullivan Tipton with a 9, and lots of blue ink over there.
Joel Freeman finishes the round with a 5 to shoot 10 down.
Bogey's 18. It's
1 bogey with the eagle on 10. I didn't know Joel went that big, but obviously he does.
But look, he just absolutely lit up the back 9. He starts with an eagle on 10, and then birdies 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Then bogey on the 18. Just keep them down. Actually hot action.
So there's a pretty good rundown for today. I have some responsibilities over in the village that I need to get back over for, so we need to wrap this up. I realize that this is one of our shortest shows. Yeah, Christian, you didn't meet him, but he helped me make those minis. He's coming out tomorrow, so that's going to be great. All right, so I'm gonna run. Oh, maybe, yeah, here we go. So Chase Gibson, Walter Haney, Brad Bishop, Frank Rustino, Manson Miller's a buddy from entertainment business, Zane Letts, Robbie Brody, and 11 others that aren't giving me the listing. John Deucer, Matt Siri, Chris Ware, Randy Wynn, Lee Dunstan, Frankie Bryant, Michael Randolph, Cam Schwartz, Mike Speaker, Ken Rollins, Hal Kurz, Bobby Logan, Adam Murphy, John Gold, Dale Himmeline, Sheila Discraft, Kirkham, Christian Maldo I mentioned, and Seahorse. Thanks for stopping by, y'all. Tomorrow we're gonna do this like the old. Any of y'all that go back to the old radio show, that's what we're gonna do tomorrow. We're gonna be on video, and we're gonna do that tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. And if you got something you want us to ask somebody or something like that, we'll do our best. I'm not gonna make any promises, but we're definitely having Schwebby on. Double G's supposed to stop by. We're going to have George Tappenfield. We're going to have, who else? Yeah, we're going to have, there's going to be a bunch of Hall of Famers stopping by.
Yeah.
We won't be doing a bunch of long shows with anybody this week, but we certainly will be covering a lot of ground, and we will do our best to bring you some good news and some good times. Thanks a lot, everybody, for stopping by. Jack Smith. Nice, Jack. Haven't seen you in forever. Hit us up tomorrow. I believe we're gonna go live at noon. We may go live at 11, but and these are Eastern time. So again, thanks for stopping by. We're gonna pack it up, pack it in, have a good time, have a good evening, and we will see y'all tomorrow.